Ladies and gents, welcome. So there are a lot of people in this audience that know who I am, and there's some people who don't. And so I'm going to give a little brief of who I am and how I even got here. Why, why am I here? How did this happen? I'm a dyslexic mechanic from Squamish, British Columbia, and I read the news to people on the internet. Amazingly enough. So we all went through the whole COVID scamdemic, people want to call it. And it was not easy for a lot of us, but a lot of us didn't really do something when that time, I think we all should have spoken up. Now, there was a moment when some people did decide to do something. And it was an interesting experience. I was actually at a friend's birthday party, and we went to the Watershed in Squamish. And it was, we're going to the bar. We're gonna wear our masks. What are we gonna do? Are they gonna ID us? Are they gonna make us use the passports? No, none of that. And we went into the bar, and it was January of 2022, and we all started talking. We haven't talked to each other in some time. We were all kind of nervous what each other thought. We hadn't seen each other for a little bit, and we were all just kind of busy working. Most of us are tradespeople in my friend group, so we never stopped working. We were doing that constantly, and we started talking about what was going on with the pandemic, and we said, Mike, I think this is kind of crazy. Why are we locked down for so long? 2 weeks to flatten the curve. It's been years now. And so we started talking louder. And we started talking even louder, and the table next to us joined in, and then the waitresses joined in, and everybody was talking about it. And one of the waitresses said, hey, did you hear about it? There's these truck drivers, and they're going to drive to Ottawa, and they're going to tell the government what for. Oh, we all know how that went down. So they turned off the sports on the TV, and they said, check this out, YouTube videos of trucks leaving British Columbia on their way to Ottawa. Now, the news was telling us something different. It was telling us a different story. Apparently, there was some truck drivers doing a slow roll because of potholes. I think that was the story that was being told. I thought that was a little strange, but meanwhile, on YouTube, you could see exactly what was happening. There was a lot of people, and a lot of people started going to the sides of the roads, and they started cheering it on. And then the news changed a little bit, and it said, and after that, and they started saying a different story. Oh, these guys are awful people. Anyway, we'll get to that. So that night, it really inspired me. Something switched in my head, and I thought, I gotta say something about this. This is really important. I've been quiet for so long, and all our friends just quiet, just go along to get along. And I said, tomorrow, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something about it. And the next day, I did not do anything about it. I had such a hangover. It was terrible. But the next day, okay, so here's the thing. I was concerned. Everybody has these concerns. I do something, but I got a family. I do something, but I got a job. And I'm in a unique position because I work in the trades. I'm a mechanic. And there's a shortage of us, and I don't think anyone wants to fire their local mechanic. So I did go to my boss, and I asked him, I said, hey, here's an idea. I do stuff on YouTube. I'd been doing, DIY videos, things like that for some time. And I said, what do you think if I told my political opinion on the internet? Are you cool with that? And surprisingly, he just said, yeah, whatever, that's you. Do you, that's cool. I said, well, you realize, people get angry on the internet, right? Sometimes people get angry and they'll call your workplace and they'll try to get you fired. And he says, you know who answers the phone? And so that was that. So I took to my computer, and I took to pulling up news stories and telling people what was going on in the news and how the news was not reflecting what's actually happening on the ground. And a unique thing happened at that time. A really unique thing happened because live streaming was just becoming popular on YouTube. And people could do it with a cell phone. That's all it took. A cell phone and an internet connection. And you're doing the news. You're showing people what's really happening on the ground. And it's not, well, as it turns out, it's not what they were saying on CBC or CTV or Global News. And so I thought, hey, I'm going to do this because this is the one thing I think I can do. We've got truckers that are risking their entire livelihoods. These are my brethren, right? Mechanics, truck drivers. My brother's a truck driver. I've worked in the auto trade for years. And I said, you know, I still have to work, so what can I do to help along this journey that everybody's going? And I said, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna tell the story of what's happening to these truck drivers. I'm gonna tell the story that the news doesn't want you to hear. And I thought nobody would listen. I honestly thought nobody was gonna listen. And what's interesting is the truth is, it's contagious. It really is. It's a thing, when you start telling the truth, it feels great. It feels really good to get out there and just say what you're seeing. You know, the whole story of the emperor that has no clothes. It was the young boy that said, hey, he's naked. And then everybody kind of clued in. Wow, what are we all doing? So what I'm getting at in this is, well, that's my story. That's my journey to doing this. It turns out people did want to watch that. So that's cool. But the future is, well, the future in media, I mean, they call it legacy media for a reason. It's the legacy. It's over. Print media, TV media, your CNNs, your global news, all of this stuff that's been lying to us for a long time, they're done. Nobody wants to watch them anymore. And why? It's because they have zero integrity. Zero integrity. And not only that, a guy with a shoestring budget and an internet connection can show what's happening, show people what the news is saying, and then show people what is actually happening. A great story even from just this past week is this very conference that we're in here. They ran news stories about what this was about. And apparently we're all gathered here to talk about LGBT. Did anyone get the memo for that? I didn't get that memo. No, it was not about that. But yet Czech News wrote an article about a week and a half ago saying just that. And then later it was piggybacked by Radio Canada and then the Times Colonist. And in that story, they claimed that this event was a hateful event, and the irony is that this event's about misinformation in media. And that's never lost on me. That's amazing. And in the Czech article, the writer of the article, at the bottom of the article said, we reached out to We Unify for comment, and they declined to comment. So immediately I got in touch with them because I got a line of dialogue here. So, hey, Jonathan, did they actually reach out to you? And did you not? Because that wouldn't have been a great move. Don't even comment. Oh no, absolutely he did. He did, and he gave me receipts for that. So I contacted the journalist and I said, hey, I'm a media watchdog YouTuber, and you just wrote an article labeling this event as an anti-LGBT event. Incidentally, it's about disinformation in media and censorship. And in your article, you wrote a bunch of things that weren't true. And one of the things, especially at the end, was that you said that it wasn't, that they didn't respond to you. So I wrote the author this letter asking for a response, and I also gave a deadline saying, hey, I would love to hear your response, and I'll be making a video about it. Please respond by this deadline. Of course, I got no response, but I did do a video about it, And incidentally, after I wrote this, author an email, I asked, after I did do the video, but just before I did the video, I double-checked on the website to see if there had been any changes to the article. And of course, that line changed. But fortunately, there's, and again, talking about the future, technology is great. If you find an article that sounds like it's BS to you, archive it. Anybody can do it, and once it's been archived, anybody can then access it. And this is something that we can do as watchdogs, and anybody can do this. Nothing that I do is special. Nothing that I do is special. Nothing that I do is particularly brave, I thought. A lot of people are throwing that bravery around. I just turned a camera on, and I started talking. Now, in the article, yeah, they changed it afterwards, and it's astonishing to me. But yes, moving forward, the future being this internet realm, anybody can do this. Anybody can pick up a camera and talk to a massive audience out there. Anybody really can. And I do it, well, every morning, and it really is a stress reliever. It really is. So I know I'm finishing a bit early, and we're going to wrap it up here, but I just want to encourage everyone moving forward to pay attention to what's happening in media. Media is where where they're going to change your they're going to try to influence you in that way. And what's great is, like I said, anybody can do this. All you got to do is do something. That's it.